Hi everyone, it's Tuesday, March 31st. Here's a quick dispatch for the day. The readings are Psalm 143 again, a reading from 2 Kings chapter 4, and a reading from Ephesians chapter 2. Another interesting thing to highlight from the psalm, as you'll notice about halfway through, the psalmist uses the phrase, the pit. And the pit in Hebrew is Sheol, and sometimes that comes across untranslated in the Psalms especially, but the pit or Sheol or the depths, this is an ancient Israel, a Hebrew understanding of essentially life after death. There was no hell in heaven. There was no eternal life. There was this shadowy underworld, this place where all of the dead go when they die. That understanding of life after death changes significantly as we get into the New Testament era. But during the time of the Old Testament, for the most part, the Israelite worldview did not have a heaven and hell. It just had this place called Sheol, the depths, the pit. So notice that as you read the psalm. In 2 Kings, we have a reading, a story, much like the story of the prophet Elijah from yesterday. This is the prophet Elisha, not to confuse things. A very similar story of healing. A young boy dies. A desperate mother pleads for the life of her son, and the prophet resuscitates the boy. And then from Ephesians chapter 2, we have another story of death to life, though this one very different. Here Paul is using sin as the metaphor for death, and of course salvation as the metaphor for life. Paul says, even when we were dead through our trespasses, we were made alive together with Christ. This is Paul developing the idea that we are raised from the dead with Christ, that when Christ is raised, we are also given new life. So you see that we are, in our readings now, developing toward Easter. These are stories of death transitioning to life. So that's what's happening as we read these daily readings. So pay attention to that theme as it develops, as we now grow even closer to Easter. One quick update for you today. I am going to send out an email later asking for your help, your participation in this coming Sunday's worship service. I'll give the instructions as needed, but it's very simple. Just use your smartphone, find the voice recorder app, and record yourself reading one or all of the elements of the worship service, and I will use your voice, your voices, in worship this coming Sunday. That's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow.